Why do zombie variants, these more evolved zombies, only appear now in The Walking Dead? And another question, are they really evolved? Have they only evolved now? If they appeared at the beginning, why did they disappear for so long? These are some of the questions I'm going to answer in this video, focused a lot on these new zombie variants, or these new evolved zombies, or super zombies, and about the old ones. And if you want to know the explanation, if you want to know everything, stay here and let's go. Hello everyone who watching this beautiful channel, my name is João Victor and I'm back now obviously to talk about the Walking Dead universe, to explain an important point about this evolution about zombies that we saw in the spin-offs of the Walking Dead, and also they went back in the end of the main show, but we also saw these zombies in the beginning. What is the explanation for this? What is the difference between these zombies? Because there's a difference. Let me explain, but first don't forget to check the like button on this video, it helps me a lot with the promotion, and also if you like more contents about the Walking Dead, subscribe in this channel. So I'd like to thank you for the feedback with my English. I'm trying to improve it. For the newcomers, this is not my native language, but I'm keep trying to be better. And let's go to the video. Here's the point. If you watched The Walking Dead, if you watched many of the other spin-offs, you saw a lot of types of zombies. Stronger ones, smarter ones, faster ones, slower ones, and many others. And there's a lot of questions about it. So this is a kind of thing that needs an explanation, because a lot of people seem to be understanding, but in fact they are not understanding anything. So you pay close attention to this video here. I will give a big explanation. Let's start here with the beginning of The Walking Dead, the beginning of the main show, because the first zombie that we saw in The Walking Dead was a variant zombie, which is the little girl, Summer, the little girl who catches the teddy bear, which yes, it's already confirmed, she was a variant. She was a zombie with the virus that mutated, and during the first season we had a large presence of several of these variants, which is already confirmed, including at Comic-Con they confirmed the zombies of the beginning were variants. Yeah, there's a production explanation for this, but there we saw a zombie with a stone ready to break a glass, a zombie opening a door, jumping over the fence, and recently we saw it again. But yeah, it is very confirmed that since the beginning of the apocalypse in The Walking Dead, there were already some who contracted a mutation of the virus, and that's where we're going to move quickly. If you don't know, basically every type of virus can mutate, and in this case, for the zombie virus in The Walking Dead, the explanation is that most of the zombies in the world of The Walking Dead are normal zombies, those common, slow and all. In some cases, the minority, some cases of people who became zombies, not everything was deteriorated. It was part of the memory that allows them to take these more intelligent actions. In general, it's as if this mutation of the virus that there in the universe of The Walking Dead, it makes the person a little less contaminated, because it is a degenerative virus, and the people who caught the variant from it degenerated less. Normal zombies have taken away all function, everything, anything. They only know how to walk and chew. These variant zombies know how to walk and chew, but they know a little more because it hasn't all deteriorated in their brains. That's the explanation. But of course, we talk about the show, the main show, that only appeared at the beginning and then disappeared. So with this, let's go to the explanation about the story. Why the zombies disappeared and then returned in the last season. Basically in the story, what happened is that from the second season of the show going to the third and continuing there, they walked through regions that do not have zombie variants of these, or almost none. But you can say, no, they went through many places. There were a lot of seasons. But if you watch it, if you see my video explaining about the map of the Walking Dead universe, you will see that at the same time they were not many places. Everything that we saw in The Walking Dead from the first season to the season 10 took place almost only in 4 states in the United States. Just this little region here, like Georgia, which is where the beginning of the show takes place, where Atlanta is, the CDC, the Rick's Hospital, the farm, the prison, Woodbury, and many other things. Then we have South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia, which is where Alexandria is, Hilltop, the Sanctuary, Oceanside in the coasts, and many other places. The overwhelming majority of The Walking Dead is just in this part of the country that is gigantic. There's also Fear the Walking Dead, the first spin-off, which takes place in the regions of California in the first season. Then they go to Mexico, but then they move back to United States. But I also know that a lot of people can mention about the Whispers, yeah, the Alphas group, that there we see many zombies, many herds. Like, why didn't they find any variant? So the answer is that there is nothing confirmed whether they found it or not, because it didn't appear in the show. We see the herds, we see the main characters, but we don't get to see all the zombies. It is possible that there in the middle of one of the herds that they drove have some variant zombie that appeared appeared there. But if you stop to think about it, for normal humans, like the survivors, it was already difficult to recognize a person with the whisper mask in the middle of the herd. So for the variant zombies, as much as they have a little more intelligence, they are not smarter than humans. So it is even more difficult for them to find out which one is a whisper, which one is a real person. Sometimes they walked in a herd there, but they didn't attack because they didn't see a human itself. Or sometimes there was even a zombie that attacked the whisper like this. They just didn't show it clearly. And then we arrive in 2022, which is the year that they released the last season of the main show. Why they appeared after many years in the show is precisely by taking this explanation of location. In the end of the show, they find some variants like this because they are going to a more distant place, some more different places than normal. Going back to the map here, now they are leaving this little region here in the United States and they are going to Ohio, which is the farthest state they went there. In other words, in this region where the community is located, these variants have existed since the beginning. And if you watched the last episodes of the main show, we don't get to see many zombie variants. We see like 5, 6 or 7 variants in the middle of hundreds and hundreds of zombies. So these variant zombies are scarce even in the region that we have them. And a curiosity is that they planned in the last season of The Walking Dead to make a scene with a zombie attacking someone with a knife, like a big evolution for a zombie. In the end of episode 22 of the last season of The Walking Dead, we saw a scene where in the middle of the herd we see a zombie catching a knife, and they filmed a continuation for this, but they deleted this scene. In the scene, a zombie was supposed to attack someone in the middle of this herd with a knife. So the director, Greg Nicotero, in this time, he probably realized that this would be too weird and people might not take it seriously. As I said, still the majority, almost all the zombies they find in the season is the standard ones, the normal zombies. But before I move to the explanation about the production, let's move to the spin-offs, because especially in Daryl Dixon, starting from the first season, we see some variant zombies, but these are not variant zombies. We can say this, but this is more like super zombies, some evolved zombies, because this is not a mutation. If you watched the second season, you saw that the zombies we see in France are genetically modified zombies. The survivors of Gene's group, Power of the Living, deliberately modified the zombies using a super zombie serum produced in a laboratory. This means they aren't exactly variant zombies like those we see in the main show. In fact, they are different. The zombies we see in France are much stronger, faster, and more aggressive. In addition, there are also the failed ones, called burners. In the second season of Daryl Dixon, we have the explanation that during the tests, there were some problems, and some of them became these zombies with acidic blood that can burn a person with just a touch. So you can see that there's a difference between the variant zombies that we see in the main show in the first season and in the last season with the super zombies that we see in Daryl Dixon. And let's go to the explanation about the behind the scenes that I mentioned in the beginning of this video, about the production, because this guy that you were seeing on the screen is Frank Darabont, one of the creators of The Walking Dead, the guy responsible to take the comics story from Robert Kirkman and make an adaptation to TV. This guy was the showrunner for the first season, he created everything, and then the rumors that AMC fired him because he asked for more investment in the second season of the show, and they didn't want it. The thing is, starting in the second season, Frank Darabont stopped being the showrunner, and he was the guy responsible for creating more intelligent zombies. He wanted all the zombies in the show to be like that, but after he left, the other showrunners didn't want that anymore, and that characteristic was lost. So, with the decision to bring back the variant zombies in the last season, they needed an explanation for the story, and the explanation is this: the scarcity of variant zombies, which existed in Atlanta but didn't exist in other places, like in rural Georgia and Virginia, but there were some in Ohio. And in Europe, especially in France, that we see in Daryl Dixon, these are some different zombies, different types. That's the explanation about these different types of zombies. Go write in the comments what you think about it. I know it would have been much better if they had put this explanation more explicitly in the show, then we wouldn't have needed this video to decipher it, but we have to accept it. So be sure to click the like button in this video so you help me with the promotion. Don't forget to subscribe in this channel so you don't miss many other contents that I will make here. Thank you for watching this video, I'll be back soon, and bye!